When the phone buzzed at 10:47 p.m., I was already staring at the ceiling, tracing cracks that weren't there. Still at the office, her message read, "Don't wait up. Love you." I stared at the words until they blurred. It wasn't the lateness that caught me. It was the period after "love you." She never used a period. Always a soft heart, a trailing ellipsis, something warm. This one felt like a door clicking shut. I typed back before I could think. "Tell Jake I said hi." My thumb hovered over send for half a second of self-mocking paranoia. Before I pressed it, I wasn't even sure why. Maybe because the name had slipped out of her mouth last week, too casually. Jake from accounting. Jake's hilarious. Jake spilled coffee on me. That was all. Harmless. But the way she laughed when she said his name, sharp and bright, like glass catching light, stuck in my chest. Now my phone sat silent. No typing bubbles. No reply. Just the faint hum of the refrigerator and the heavy tick of the clock over the stove. Tick, tick, tick. At 11:02, the three dots finally appeared, then vanished, then appeared again. "What are you talking about?" A hollow kind of calm spread through me, cold, methodical, the calm of someone stepping barefoot into snow. "Nothing," I replied. "Just thought you mentioned him the other day." No answer. I stare at the wall, at the framed photo from our trip to Monterey last summer. Her hair wind-tangled, my arm around her waist, both of us squinting into the sun. I tried to remember what that warmth had felt like, but all I could feel now was static. At 11:15, she called. Her voice came tight, trembling slightly around the edges. "Why would you say that, Aaron?" I almost laughed. Why would I say that? As if I were the one spinning a story. "Just joking," I said. "Didn't mean to upset you." There was a long silence. I could hear faint office noise in the background, a copier whirring, footsteps on tile. Or maybe it wasn't an office at all. Maybe it was a hotel hallway. "I'm really tired," she said at last. "Can we not do this tonight?" "Sure," I said, but I didn't hang up. Neither did she. The sound between us, the low hum of distance, was unbearable. Then came a muffled male voice, faint but distinct. I couldn't make out words, just the tone, casual, close. My heart stuttered. "Who's that?" I asked. She exhaled sharply. "No one. Cleaning crew." Then the line went dead. Sleep never came. By 1 a.m., I was sitting in the car outside her office building downtown, engine off, watching the lit windows. The lobby security guard gave me a curious glance through glass, but I pretended to be on the phone. Third floor, the marketing suite. Only one light was on. I told myself I wasn't here to catch her. I was here to prove myself wrong. To kill the thought before it grew teeth. But when she finally emerged, laughter drifting into the night, she wasn't alone. Jake. I knew it was him instantly. The too short beard, the loosened tie, the easy posture of someone who thinks he's earned something forbidden. They didn't kiss. They didn't even touch. But they didn't need to. The distance between them was already intimate. The kind of space charged with everything not yet said. She saw me before I could duck. Her expression, shock, then guilt, then anger, flashed like frames in a broken reel. I stepped out of the car. The night air was sharp, metallic. Late night at the office, I said, my voice too calm. Didn't expect company. Jake looked between us, uncertain, then mumbled something about needing to grab his laptop, and vanished back inside. She stood frozen, arms cross-tied around herself. "You followed me?" "I drove," I said. "That's not the same thing." "You don't trust me." I almost laughed again. Should I? For a moment, she didn't answer. The streetlight painted her face pale gold, and I saw her mouth twitch, the same mouth I'd kissed 1,000 times, now trembling like a lie caught in motion. "He's going through a divorce," she said finally. "We've been talking. That's all. Talking." The word felt obscene. "With the lights off?" I asked. She blinked hard, tears gathering. "I was lonely, Aaron. You've been somewhere else. Ever since your dad died, you stopped looking at me." The words hit, cruel in their truth. I had retreated, sinking into work, into silence, into grief she couldn't reach. Part of me wanted to believe her, to clutch that excuse like a lifeline. But then her phone buzzed. I didn't mean to look. But there it was, his name, glowing bright and damning. "Jake, you okay? He followed you?" Something inside me broke cleanly, like a bone snapping under weight. She tried to speak, but I held up a hand. "You don't need to explain." "I'm sorry," she whispered. "I didn't." "Don't," I said, voice raw. "Just don't." The silence after that was unbearable. The city sounds, cars hissing by, the wind scraping through dry leaves, seemed to swallow us whole. Finally, I stepped back, opened the car door. "You said you were working late." I murmured, "Guess you were." Her tears caught in the streetlight. It didn't mean anything. I met her eyes one last time. It always means something. That night, I drove until dawn. The sky turned the color of bruised silver, and every mile felt like an unraveling. I replayed it all, the dots on the phone, the silence, the way she said, "Love you," with a period. Maybe betrayal doesn't start with a kiss. Maybe it starts with punctuation. By the time the sun broke, I sent one last message. "You can tell Jake I said goodbye." She didn't reply, but for the first time in months, the silence felt honest.